Alright guys, so welcome back to CrossFit Syntax today. Today I'm going to be going over the squat with you. So not just the squat, but the squat according to an Olympic style weightlifter. So this is going to be very important for anybody interested in their best possible snatch or clean, and not necessarily just those 1 rep max efforts, but those lower weight, higher rep efforts, because that's going to transfer, if you can get a little more efficiency in your catch positions, that's obviously going to transfer over to more energy conservation through your wads. Which is going to be is equally important for you guys as CrossFitters. Anytime I work with somebody for the first time on these lifts, the squat is absolutely the very first thing that I go over, and I spend a whole lot of time on it. So whether that's an on-ramp squat's the very first thing that we go over, or just a weightlifting class or my weightlifting seminars, it's definitely that first thing, and I spend a lot of time on it. So you can probably expect this to be about a 4-part series. So just bear with me on that. But the point is that we can work the technique of the snatch and the pull and perfect that and everything else, which we'll get to. I'll get you plenty of videos on that stuff. But if your catch positions are locked up or non-existent, a lot of people's catch positions are just not there at all, they're just not aware of it and don't know where they need to be, then you're going to really limit yourself. You're going to really hold yourself back from your most possible potential. And the thing is, these concepts that I'm going to go over, a lot of times they're overlooked or neglected when people are learning how to do their lifts. So, the squat according to a weightlifter. How Olympic weightlifters squat. If you've watched any amount of YouTube videos on elite weightlifters, you've seen them hit that bottom position. You know that we're trying to go as low as we possibly can with the hips, and we're trying to stay as upright as we possibly can in the back. Okay. Okay, so I'm trying to get every bit of depth that my body can give me. All right. So why is it important for us to squat in that way? And just like I said in those videos, you're watching the actual snatch and the clean. But why are we going to squat that same way? And the reason why is because it's a mimic of that extreme depth for the receiving position of most potential in the snatch and the clean. And so basically what that has to do with is simple math. If I can go lower, if I can create the ability, create more flexibility and be able to get lower, then I'm going to have more time and more room to get under more weight. Okay, so our goal is to absolutely put the most weight over our head that we can, and if we can go lower, we have the potential to accomplish more. Okay. Also, being more right, we're going to work that upright position all the time, just like we're going to work that D position. Because if we can be more upright, we can be more centered. Okay. So an example of a powerlifting squat, I'll refer to powerlifting quite a bit through this 4-part series, and just know no problem with powerlifting. They have certain criteria that they follow, but it's pretty much the complete opposite of the way that I would want you to move for the Olympic lifting purposes. So what they're going to do is they're going to push the butt way back and only use a little bit of ankle flexibility. So they're going to have a pretty big angle in their back. So think of it if you're catching your cleans in that way, if you're squatting in that way and you're catching your cleans that way as well. So if you're in that front rack position here and you've got a big angle in your back, that way it's going to be way forward, over the top, if not in front of your knee. So you're not going to have any base to set them on. I need to be as straight as I can so it can be more back up over the top of my body. Now, in regards to the snatch, think about this. If I have that big back angle here and I'm not going very low, I've got to push that bar back further and further to get it over the top of me, because if it's out here where the shoulder's the stronger position for the shoulder, then it's not going to be over the top of me. I'm not going to hold very much weight at all there. But the point is that shoulder being back like that, it's a very vulnerable position for the shoulder. It's nowhere near as strong, and that's where we don't want you to be there. We want you to be, again, stay upright. So now that bar is much more right over the top of me. Okay. So also squatting in that way, obviously that's going to be preparation for the bottom of those catch positions. Preparation of this full range of motion is going to be more than necessary for optimization of the lifts, for insurance that we can get under more weight, that we're going to be able to stand up with more weight, and then in regards to somebody that maybe doesn't necessarily care how much they snatch or clean or the efficiency of them for the wads, but they're going to be doing them for safety and health as well for your squats. Okay. safety and health and all these good things that we're going to go over. All right. So one of the reasons that I spend a whole lot of time on the squat has to do with all the misconceptions that there are about that deep squat, about the way that I'm trying to get you to squat. One of them, and I know you've all heard this one, below parallel is hard or unsafe for the knees, right? So what I want you to think about is, yes, on the squat, but even more so on the catch of the snatch and the clean, that extra torque that you're creating on the knee when you're changing direction out of anything above that bottom position. So yes, the squat, but I'm going to use the snatch and the clean for an example. If I'm catching at that around about parallel position, or again, really anything, I'm changing directions out of anything higher than that full range of motion, that position where my butt butts against the ankles, then that's what's going to be hard on the knees. That's going to be a lot harder on the knees. And an example of that, in the snatch and the clean, we need to use our legs as shocks rather than brakes. So if I'm stopping here at that parallel position or in the clean, and then coming up from that position, using my legs as brakes, that's going to be much harder on the knees. And rather, I want to use my legs much more athletically, much healthier than that, and use a shock effect. And so, still going to put that upward pressure on the bar at around about that parallel position, but my ability to sink down and ride it down is going to be, again, much safer. Okay? So, that's definitely what we're looking for. The opposite is absolutely true. Absolutely true. The opposite on that. That bottom position is unstable. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that. What I want you to think about there is, what is your strongest pause position? What is your strongest pause position? And what I mean by that is, if you go down to that parallel position or just below parallel, whatever criteria you're using, anything that's above your rock bottom position, then those legs are going to get tired real quick. My legs are burning already. I'm not going to be able to hold this for very much longer. But if I go here, and my body's more upright and everything is centered, and I'm able to really set on myself in the bottom there, then I can probably hold this pretty much all day. Okay. So that's going to be a much stronger, much stable position, and that also means that when you're changing direction, when you go down and you ride that down, and you hit that bottom position, you're going to have something. You're going to have something to hit against. So it's going to be a much stronger change of direction. And another example of that is, when you're changing directions, you're using your body as brakes. The fact that it is a lot more jarring on the body, you're going to be much more likely to brake. So right here, you're going to be much, in the clean specifically, you're going to be much more likely to brake or lean forward. Everything's going to go forward, brake in some kind of way. So we're looking for that stronger position, that more upright position for that as well. Okay, absolutely, it's not unstable. In fact, many Olympic lifters throughout the world every single day do heavy pause squats in that rock bottom position, and the reason that we do that is for that extra flexibility work that we're going to get with that heavy weight, but also for that insurance. So in the front squat, for example, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, or same thing in the back squat, and then come up, because a lot of times in a competition or in training, when we're doing those heavy cleans, we might hit it just a little bit wrong. We might have to sit there and regroup, and then we want that insurance that we're going to be able to stand up with it. So you're talking about lifters taking that to the extreme. Some of these heavyweights, these really some of the elitist, strongest heavyweights in the world, they may be doing up around 600, 700, maybe even more pounds for reps, holding in that bottom position. So it's absolutely a very stable, very strong position. Okay? And that's what we want to get. We want to get you there, and for you to be able to feel that extra stabilization that you're going to get from it. Okay. Another one, the knee should not go in front of the toe. What I want you to know about that is, that means you're not using all of your flexibility, and all the flexibility throughout your entire body is going to be required for the best quality deep upright position, and it starts at the ankle. So if I'm trying to squat and I'm going to try to go low, but I'm not going to let my knee go in front of my toe like this, then if I go down much deeper than that, for a lot of people, they're just going to fall over. All right. And another thing that happens there, as you can see, I have more of an angle in my back than if I push that knee forward. So it's absolutely going to be necessary for you to use all of your ankle flexibility, because that's really where it starts. If you're locked up in your ankle, or if you're not using all that ankle flexibility, it's going to go up throughout the rest of your body and change those angles as well. Okay, so we need to pay attention to that. And when you're catching your snatches or your cleans, and say you hit a heavy one and you're not used to that bottom position, or maybe you are, but you're catching in the bottom of that clean, your body's not going to stop and say, wait a minute, my knee, I can't let my knee go in front of my toe. No, it's a reaction. Your body's going to go to its most flexible position, and that's going to be absolutely every single bit of your flexibility that you have everywhere. Again, and the ankle is a very important thing, and I'll definitely go over that much more in these next couple videos. All right. One of the reasons why people are telling you not to let that knee go in front of the toe is it activates the body a little bit differently. So they're trying to get a little bit of a different work. But later I'll talk about in probably the second or third video. I'll talk about kind of how that's a little bit unnecessary. Okay. So why should you squat in this way? Sport specificity absolutely applies to you guys as well. Anybody that's interested in doing the snatch and the clean and jerk on a regular basis, you need to start paying attention to in pretty much any of your barbell movements. You need to mimic the snatch and clean and jerk as much as you can. And the biggest one that you need to mimic is those catch positions. So sport specificity absolutely applies just as much as us weightlifters. Another reason why is because it's a full range of motion. What I want you to know about a full range of motion on any movement is anything less is jarring and unhealthy to the body. Okay. Take that push-up for example. If I'm repping out like that, not getting my body all the way to the floor, changing directions, I'm doing rep after rep after rep. My elbows are going to begin to feel that, and the rest of my body. The squat to more of an extent, and what goes along with that is that the body will adapt and lock to the range of motion that you're using over time. So not only is it jarring and unhealthy, but that the body's going to adapt to it. The body's absolutely very adaptable. And the thing about the CrossFit community is because there's so many reps involved, you have a great opportunity to really help yourself or to really hurt yourself and faster. So in a lot of cases, what would take a certain amount of time to really lock your body up. Take a powerlifter for example, who's been squatting to that parallel depth over and over again for years. You can see that they're just really locked up. They may not be able to ever go below that parallel position. And the point in CrossFit is that when we're doing so many reps, that process can speed up a little bit. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. A big part of being a good athlete, a good CrossFitter, or healthy, is flexibility, and flexibility is something that so many of us overlook because there's a lot of those other concepts, but to me it's probably one of the most important things, okay? So pay attention to your range of motions on everything, full range of motion on everything. What comes along with that full range of motion on everything is it's going to work toward improving your flexibility on every single rep. So the beauty about squatting to your rock bottom position as low as you can possibly go with the best good quality every single rep is you're now working flexibility. And what a better stretch, especially with weight on your back or your chest or over your head, what a better stretch for the lower body and then for your overhead squats for the shoulders than weighted squats, in that rock bottom position. So make sure your full range of motion, you're going to work that flexibility much healthier, much safer, all that good stuff. Well, also what I want you to understand is that this position I'm trying to get you into, it's absolutely a natural position. If you look at babies, I got about a 3-year-old daughter at home that she sits down here and she just can do whatever she wants to do all day. Just plays all day. Her back is upright, her chest is upright. It's that position that we all had when we were babies. We all had that type of flexibility. A lot of us lose it from what I would say lacking movements. And you don't want to. You want to hang on to that. I've still got it because I've been squatting this way for my entire 15-year Olympic lifting career. Olympic lifters specifically, they're known as the second most flexible in the Olympics for that reason, because we're squatting all the time, full range of motion. Our shoulders as well, we're getting those overhead squats. So make sure that you're doing all these things. This is the beginning of it. Coming up, we'll go over the air